And this is such an evenly matched series, probably because the two coaches are so evenly matched too, as Wofford wins the tip.
Greg Gary is one of my favorite coaches in this league from an X's and O's standpoint, just also what he is as a person.
Wofford wearing their home whites as Larson gets loose in the paint. Now wheels back out to B.J. Mack, coming off a big night at VMI on Wednesday. Mack has it out top, hit a couple of threes against the Keydets. Shot clock is running down, so he'll try to do it again and pick up right where he left off Wednesday night. B.J. Mack, he had 21 points against VMI on Wednesday, and Wofford's off to a 3-0 lead.
He's not a senior, but he's to maybe the most important guy on this team.
Probably on everybody's short list for the first team All-SoCon honors, as Mercer will get going for their
if he's not
possession.
He should be.
There should be an investigation if he's not. But I talked to a lot of people around the league, and that seems to be a pretty good consensus. And their shot clock running down, and Mercer doesn't see it. Walker's shot is well after the buzzer, and Wofford can't ask for two better each end of floor possessions to start off the game.
That was well done by Wofford on the defensive end. And Felipe Hasse has got to have better awareness of where they are in the shot clock, and he didn't look at it. So that's not necessarily, he couldn't see it is what I'm trying to say. But it was late, and he passed the ball with a second on the shot clock.
Klesmit to Larson, who gets free on the baseline, goes all the way around. Good ball movement by the Terriers. Bigelow tries to feed Mack inside. He goes to the floor, and we're going to have a tie-up situation, I believe, and if so, it will be Mercer basketball. And it is.
The pass was kind of short hop to BJ a little bit, and so he was battling for it. And he ended up with 3 Mercer Bears around him. It was easily going to be a held ball.
Robertson bring the ball up once again. Mercer without Neftali Alvarez, but a nice play inside as Robertson just takes it right to the rack.
He went right by Ryan Larson. He kind of slow played him a little bit and then hit a jet and was gone.
He didn't even let me get out the fact that Alvarez is missing another game against Wofford. Robertson missed that game in Macon as well as Bigelow goes strong to the hoop and draws a foul.
Late call.
It's going to go against Jalen Johnson, who hit that game-winning shot in Macon in the first meeting between these two teams. A little contact with the arms before he got the body out of the way. So Isaiah Bigelow, out of Greensboro, North Carolina, Smith High School, great free throw shooter, 89%. They'll see that one rim out, the announcer jinx. I apologize. 10 points and 6 rebounds at Mercer back in January for Isaiah.
These two teams seem to play close games every time they get together on the floor.
Second free throw rattles home for Bigelow, and Wofford's up 4-2. Played just under 2 minutes here in Spartanburg. The winner of this one, almost certain to get a first-round bye in the conference tournament. Pass inside, Walker goes up, and it's blocked. Thick back got a piece of that. Safford was there as well.
Yeah, it was. B.J. Mack went straight up, walled him off, and got a block wide open.
Trailing, nobody picks up Mack, and they'll take it right to the hoop and drain it.
What a throwdown by B.J. Mack. Nobody stopped him. I think they were cognizant of him shooting the 3, and he just took it all the way.
I was too. I didn't expect him, and then Mack kicks it out of bounds, so it'll stay with Mercer. They'll get a fresh 20 on the shot clock. You know, BJ is he's kind of an old soul, old school inside. He doesn't really get up and throw it down too often, but when he does, he makes it count.
He liked that one. He could celebrate that one. That's a throwdown on a nice move.
All right, inbound to Mercer. Walker gets loose in the paint, has to pass it inside. Glisson's underneath, and he muscles it up and in and draws the foul. James Glisson was probably Mercer's best all-around player in that game in Macon in January. Really kept them in it in the first half, Tom, and he will go to the line and try to complete a three-point play.
Yeah, got Bigelow with the foul. Glisson did a nice job of just getting good position down low, and it was a nice pass by Walker.
Glisson, the junior out of Southwest DeKalb, completes the three-point play, which already gives him a better game than he had Wednesday against the Citadel. He only had 2 points, 1 for 7 shooting The Bears as a team just had a horrific shooting night in that loss on Wednesday, trying to bounce back tonight. Klesmit, who had 22 against VMI, hasn't taken a shot yet tonight. He's got it out top. They're definitely trying to feed Mack inside.
Mercer's also doing a great job in the passing lanes.
Safford takes it up, and he just kind of throws it off the backboard, and it's going to be Mercer basketball. Nothing there, and Morgan Safford got caught up in the air.
I think he was looking to pass, and he had a horrible angle. So give VMI credit. Everything Wofford was trying to run with a pass off the top of the key, VMI had a guy kind of at an angle with an arm in the passing lane.
You talk about how you love the way that Greg Gary coaches, and Jay McCauley as well. And these two teams mirror each other in terms of defensive intensity, trying to get a hand in every passing lane. They both track deflections. Really a very good examples as Glisson goes up with the left hand.
And great position that time when he got that ball.
7-6 Mercer. 3.5 minutes in the books as Mack comes right back. Well, it didn't go in. It didn't bounce out. It's going to be an alternating possession that goes to Wofford on the ball that just sticks in there.
I don't think I've been able to talk about this. For my belief in that rule is that ball, when that happens, it should always go to the defense. It doesn't. They go to the alternating possession because if it gets stuck, it was off.
And now a deflection by Robertson. He'll get the steal, take it up against Klesmit and draw a foul. There were two Terriers there trying to block that shot. It will indeed go against Max Klesmit, so that's Klesmit's first personal.
Robertson in the passing lane, and Max got him with the body.
It's going to be a different kind of ball game for Wofford with Robertson available. Again, in that first game in Macon, Jordan Jones, the freshman, actually played fairly well, but he doesn't have the explosiveness and he doesn't have the experience that a guy like Kamar Robertson does. Robertson hits the first free throw. He's an 81% free throw shooter. Started 14 games this season. He's battled a couple of spates of injuries this season. Had 13 points off the bench against the Citadel Wednesday.
Javon Tucker checks in.
He is their Energizer bunny. He is all over the floor, Javon Tucker is, as Robertson hits both free throws. And the Bears have a 3-point lead.
Yeah, it's a 7-0 run for Mercer. All the points tonight for them scored by Glisson and Robertson.
Larson gets tied up in front of the Mercer bench, and then I think Patterson was fouled. Indeed he was. It's on Tucker, so that's his first. Both teams now have 2 team fouls here in the half.
Our officials tonight, Zelton Steed, Hunter Allen, and R.B. Clyburn.
Wofford gets it into Mack. They've got 20 seconds to work with. Klesmit takes a handoff, dribbles back into the corner. Trying to feed BJ. Mercer and Hasse doing a great job denying. Almost a steal by Robertson. Instead, Larson hits the floater after Robertson went for the steal.
They're overplaying the passing lanes. I think some pump fakes of passes will get VMI biting. You can also, when teams are overplaying passing lanes, you can back cut them to death.
Wofford did that sporadically in the first game, and then no call. Larson hits the deck, and Robertson takes advantage to hit a little baseline jumper. Letting them play. I know you like that.
Yep, I'm okay with that. Don't call anything right there.
Mercer with a 3-point lead as Wofford comes back with Klesmit taking a 3, a high rebound. I don't think it hit the top. I think it just hit the glass. Ball stays in play, and a rebound by Tucker. Now Robertson. Johnson gets it taken away by Patterson. He'll try to take it himself and lay it in. Austin Patterson, technically a freshman, although he played half a year last year with Wofford, makes it 11-10.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson dribbled that thing off his foot. And then Austin Patterson right there on the spot to pick it up and be able to run with it.
Now Tucker has it outside. He's checked by Safford. Walker gets it to Hasse. Got caught up on the air. And then a return pass was blocked. Walker picks up the damage and floats in a little 4-footer. Sometimes the best passes are the ones that you didn't intend.
Yeah, the one that is a bad pass that someone deflects and it comes right back to you.
Big screen by Mack, and then he gets the ball back. Gets it to Klesmit. Klesmit, tough off-balance shot, doesn't go, and Hasse controls the board for Mercer.
Max might have forced that one a little bit.
A lot of the offense going through Sean Walker for Mercer, making some good decisions with the basketball. Hasse coming off his own bad shooting night, but he can always pass
For 6,
wow.
83%.
You just got to look at Neftali Alvarez as Johnson hits the free throw. Of course, he's going to be out the rest of the year. There was hope that he could come back, Alvarez, for the SoCon tournament in Asheville next week as 2 for 2 for Jalen Johnson. But I spoke to him before the game, and he said the doctors aren't even going to let him really make any cuts or really put any pressure on that foot injury for a month or two. So Mercer is going to be without one of its prime weapons when they head to Asheville next week.
He is one of the rare point guards that in this league that is, I mean, well, not rare, but he is electric, and I certainly have missed watching him play this year.
Sam Godwin in a late call after the ball was taken away from him, and the whole Mercer bench got him all jumped up as one. Jordan Jones, the freshman.
He's from Macon, First Presbyterian Day School there. Shannon Grant has checked in. He's a guy I'm looking forward to watching tonight. 6'10", big fella out of Sylacauga, Alabama. Sylacauga High School. We'll say Sylacauga as many times as I can.
Tom gets a kickback every time he says Sylacauga. Sylacauga. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I, of course, get demerits when I mispronounce it. And another foul outside on the perimeter.
Yeah, Tucker was grabbing a hold of Max
Mercer's
Klesmit.
racking up the team fouls.
That'll be Tucker's second. They have to get him out of there. Greg Gary will leave him in.
Bigelow in, Safford out for Wofford. They're trying to get Kamar Robertson back in for Mercer. Jackson Greco will check in.
And there goes Tucker to the bench with those 2 fouls. Someone late telling Greg Gary his guy had 2.
All right, Wofford will inbound at Godwin. Had a nice first half spurt against VMI. Gave him some big points off the bench. Klesmit on a cut, looking for Godwin down low. He and Grant. Jump hook, good. That's a pretty shot against a pretty stout defender, but Sam Godwin flips it in, and Wofford's within 3.
Sam's first move on Grant, he didn't move him, and if that was a pass, was thrown away. Austin Patterson, another breakaway.
Second straight steal, second layup for Austin Patterson, and it's 15-14.
Quick little 4-0 spurt. Jay McCauley's talked to us before about defense leading into offense, and that's what you've seen a couple of times tonight for Wofford.
Now Walker on the perimeter. Wofford will switch momentarily. That leaves Greco open, and he can stroke the 3. Jackson Greco coming right off the bench and drills it, and it's 18-14 Bears.
Instant offense. Sophomore from Canton, Georgia.
Patterson to Bigelow. Now they work it to Larson. Baseline back to Godwin, and he was no foul. Goes back and gets his own rebound. Thought he got hit the second time. Still no call.
Letting them play down low for sure tonight.
I thought I heard the smack of hand on skin through the headphones, but who knows? At least they're letting it go both ways, as you say, Tom. Now Greco, that one's deflected by Klesmit. It'll stay with Mercer. And I tell you, that was a pretty heady play by Jackson Greco not to reach for that ball. It deflected off his own hand out of bounds.
Absolutely. It could have caused them a problem with keeping possession.
B.J. Mack back in for Wofford.
Corey Tripp is checked in for the Terriers.
Listen, quick pass inside. Grant will try to work on Mack. Does. Moved him out of the way, but couldn't finish. Patterson the rebound. Here comes Tripp. BJ trailing 3. That's an air ball. Grape will be looking at 4 games in 4 days. As you look at BJ Mack quickly, it'll be Mercer basketball as Jones will bring it up for the Bears. Mercer's had a little bit more energy than Wofford so far here in the early going.
Yeah, I like what Mercer's come out and done. They absorbed a couple of shots from Wofford early.
Oh, Grant just buries B.J. Mack, and that's an obvious offensive foul. I mean, he doesn't really need to dip the shoulder to move guys out, but he did, and that's going to draw the call every time.
Yeah, you're as big as as he is, it's you don't need to dip the shoulder. You're exactly right, and I think that's what his coach, the assistant coaches, were telling him. They weren't upset with the call, but they were kind of telling him, hey, you don't have to do that.
Mack has it now for Wofford on the other side. Bigelow looking inside, gets it to Mack. He's a long way from the basket. Hard to back him down. Now a cross-court pass to Klesmith that got through a sea of arms. Bigelow's three rattles in and out.
That thing was all the way but down.
Back comes Jones. Bigelow pops out to stop the basketball. Now Glisson. Let's see, Grant and Mack, round three. Nope, he's going to go cross-court to Jones, and it's stripped by Klesmith. Mack has it. Wofford's got a 3-on-1. Mack trailing up and in. That was a difficult shot in traffic, but B.J. Mack made it count, and the Terriers are within 2.
Too much dribbling that time by Jones. Dribbled back across the paint. That's an easy for a guy to pick his pocket there.
Mack's got a quick 7 points for Wofford here in the first 10 minutes of the ball game. Glisson can hit that three. That one's short, though. Patterson skies for the rebound. And now Klesmith. He keeps the dribble going. Greco stops him, draws the foul. The shot won't go. But Max Klesmith will go to the free throw line. Take another look. I think Greco made a nice initial stop, but then
he got his hands down low first and then popped them straight up in the air. And so it was a good call by official R.B. Clyburn.
Sophomore from Neenah, Wisconsin, Max Klesmith. All freshman team for the Southern Conference last year.
Looking for his first points tonight.
And there it is. Klesmith didn't have a very good game in Macon in January. It was only 4 for 10, 1 for 6 on 3-pointers against the Bears back at Hawkins Arena. Morgan Stafford back into the game, Bigelow out. But Klesmith has kind of mastered the art of doing other things when his shot's not falling this year.
We've already seen several occasions where Max has gotten deflections or steals, and as he does knock down that free throw.
He hit that free throw, and he was at full speed to go back to the bench. I thought he was going to go out the tunnel like Bo Jackson.
The Monday night game.
Said he stops at the bench, and Corey trips in. Again, depth is going to be a big thing for both these teams, for all teams next week in Asheville. You don't want to be dog-tired. You don't want to be playing 6 or 7 guys when you get into the Southern Conference tournament. Greco gets loose underneath, and a really, really nice look by Sean Walker with the assist.
Greco has scored their last 5.
Mercer just kind of keeping the point or two ahead, and now Hasse with the steal. Trip, a little bit of a lazy pass.
Almost dragged that pivot foot, but he kept it down.
Another backdoor cut for Mercer. This time it's Johnson. Leaves the jumper fall away short. And Tripp has the rebound.
That was well defended by Morgan Stafford. Hand in his face forced him to fall away.
BJ almost lost it. Gets it back to Tripp. Hasse pops out to guard him. And there's another steal. Another cross-court pass. Greco with the steal. Robertson thought about a 3. So did Walker. Now Mercer will reset. Nearing 9 minutes to go in this first half. Mercer with the ball, a 2-point lead. Hasse on Tripp. That's a mismatch in size and experience, but look at Tripp stand tall and force the turnover.
You know what helped Corey there is he stood his ground, 1, but 2, Austin Patterson fired down for a double team, and it caused Hasse to kind of panic. Watch this. Watch Austin Patterson there. Comes right there. Bam. Hasse sees it, loses the ball out of bounds. That's just a good job by Austin Patterson.
Great insight there. You know, Felipe Hasse, as good as he's been for Mercer since transferring over a few years back from South Carolina, has not played well against Wofford as Stafford explodes to the rack. Can't hit the jam, but he's fouled and goes down hard. We've seen that a few times this year from Stafford, from Bigelow. They go up and try to bring the house down, and somebody just fouls them in midair, just getting an arm.
Yeah, Sean Walker got him across the arm, and that just gets you off balance a little bit, so Stafford will get a couple of free throws.
And Stafford misses the free throw. Wofford's had a couple of games that either are great or not great at all from the free throw line the last month or so. They'll hit 85% one game, and they'll hit 65 the next game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the average looks fine, but it's all about how it comes about getting that average.
Safford misses them both. Johnson skies for the rebound. Mercer had been stuck on 2018 for a while, as neither team has really converted anything the last minute or two. Hasse guarded by Godwin. Now Robertson gets to the free throw line. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Johnson, one of the better three-point shooters in the league, can't hit that one. Klesmit the rebound. In fact, both Hasse and Johnson are both ranked top 10. Klesmit can hit that shot too. Instead, he goes cross court to Patterson. Drive the baseline. Good ball movement. Larson, another deflection. Hasse got a hand on that one, and another Wofford turnover. Robertson, elbow jumper, too long. Yeah, it's still 20-18.
6 Mercer turnovers, 6 Wofford turnovers. I think it says more to me right now about how each team is playing defensively.
I think you're right.
Active and aggressive.
Larson got free. The three is long. Johnson on the other side with a rebound for the Bears.
Greg Gary tells him, slow down. Let's play a half-court style of basketball. Mercer's playbook is the thickest playbook in America, and they've got more sets than anybody I know.
Hasse straight on three, count it. And the big man from Chile, who shoots 40% 3 points for the season, but was just 1 for 6 for 3 against the Citadel, 3 for 11 overall, makes it a 5-point Mercer lead.
Yeah, matches their largest lead of the night.
Safford, Larson, all this action for Wofford outside the perimeter. With B.G. Mack not in the ball game. 5 on the shot clock. Safford lost the handle, tries to get it back himself. Battle, held ball, alternating possession. Mercer gets it.
But Mercer right now is playing more like the team that knows a bye is at stake through the first, almost 15 minutes of this half.
Shooting percentages have plummeted. Mercer, though, still shooting 57% from the field. Wofford, 47%. As Tucker gets turned back out top. Now Jalen Johnson with 9 on the shot clock. Robertson and Larson pull up 3. Off the front of the rim. Bigelow comes back for the rebound.
A lot of deep shot clocks for both teams tonight.
Bigelow, a good entry pass to Godwin. Godwin and Hasse. A couple of lefties going at it. Kick out Klesmit. He dribbles into a double team. And then a nice pass inside, and Godwin is fouled. I don't know how Klesmit got the ball into him, but Godwin will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, it was a thread of the needle there. Jalen Johnson will pick up his second foul.
18th foul already on Mercer, too.
Patient. Johnson would have been better. So just let him have the lay-in and be done.
Sam Godwin, sophomore from Moore, Oklahoma. This is the free throw. Wofford is now 3 for 8. The charity stripe so far. And gosh, they missed some free throws against Furman that cost them a 1-point game. You look back at some of these games, and you don't want to be giving points away in a ball game of this magnitude.
And that is 3 straight misses at the line for Wofford.
That one sinks for Godwin. So he's on the board from the free throw line. Now all that said and done, it's only a 4-point game.
I was going to say, it feels like Mercer should be ahead by more than 4.
Jones. Cross court now, Tucker, not known for his offense. And Jones got loose inside and it rimmed out. And look at him fight for his own rebound and draw the foul. They list Jordan Jones at 6 foot. I think that's generous. But watch him fight inside here. I think everybody just stopped when that rimmed out, and boom, there he was.
Great position, and Austin Patterson whistled for the foul. His second. Morgan Safford checks back in.
14 fouls in the Terriers.
Glisson checks back in.
Glisson kept Mercer in that game in the first half down to Macon. Been quiet so far tonight. As Robertson gets it cross court. Greco always ready to shoot, but that time decided not to. Now Glisson. Hasse. Robertson cups it, goes up, lays it up and in, and draws the foul. Kamar Robertson, as Sam Godwin gets tagged with the personal foul. You get a guy who's played for a while, Kamar Robertson, a junior. Watch him just absorb the contact. Excuse me, the foul was on Morgan Safford, 13 instead of 14.
And jumped right, felt the contact, jumped into him, created more contact.
Robertson with his 9th point.
And it's the largest Mercer lead of the night at 7.
Just when we said it felt like they should be leading by more.
They are. Yeah.
26-19.
Keep my mouth shut now.
Wofford's had a hard time generating some offense here in the first half as Klesmit turned the corner but couldn't do much with it. Now Larson out top.
Their ball pressure has been superb tonight, talking about the Bears, what they're doing defensively.
7 to shoot. Klesmit's outside the arc. Now Godwin hands off to Larson. 3. He's got to fake and shoot, and that one barely gets for him, but it's run down in the corner by Morgan Safford, and a fresh 20 for the Terriers. You're right about that, Tom. And now the deflection and the steal by Tucker. He's going to go up and underneath. Safford affects the shot and a late call. Don't think it's on Safford. Oh, it's going to be on Mercer over the back going for the rebound. Another look here.
I think it was Robertson.
Oh, yeah, right over the back, over Ryan Larson, yep.
Larson more upset about his pass that was intercepted.
And you see Robertson and Larson saying, hey, didn't mean to hit you like that. Wofford, or something to that effect.
Wofford is up to 8 turnovers.
Larson can't hit the front end of the one-on-one. Your turnovers and missed free throws are killing the Terriers right now.
4 for 9 is Wofford at the line.
Mercer with the ball in a 7-point lead. 4:20 to go, first half. Hasse with a big mismatch on Larson. He'll back him down, now kick it out. They'll go right back to him. Wofford didn't switch. Hasse misses the fall away. Battle for it. Wofford comes away with it with Klesmit.
Yeah, Max tipped it away to himself there.
4 minutes to go, first half. Wofford's got 19 points. BJ Mack trying to change that. His jumper is short. Greco the rebound.
Wofford kind of settled for that jumper there. Terriers have got to get Max Klesmit more involved in the offense. He's only attempted 2 shots and has yet to make a field goal.
7 minutes since the Terriers' last point. They went through a 6-minute stretch at the end of the game in Macon that cost them in the first meeting between these two teams. Deflection, but the pass got through to Hasse. Once again, he's got Larson on it. He's going to go a turnaround jumper and hit that. That is a patented Felipe Hasse shot, and it's 28-19.
I feel like every time they score, I'd have to say it's their largest lead of the night, which it is.
Klesmit having a hard time creating some separation, so now Wofford will go to Mack on the left block. Spins around Tucker and lays it in. Feed that man. 28-21.
Yeah, figure out a way to get him involved and get Klesmit involved. Those two guys, we saw what they can do when they're both firing on all cylinders at VMI.
Now Robertson. Get the feeling that if Robertson's on, it's going to be a good night for Mercer. Cross-court pass. Tucker will take the 3, and that rims out. Safford the rebound. Boy, that field goal by Mack ended nearly 8 minutes of drought for Wofford. You don't see that very often. Larson rims out. Klesmit offensive rebound.
Got to make them pay when you recycle a possession like that.
Mack trying to back down Glisson. Double move, draws the foul.
Ball defense, doing things like that to just not make anything easy for Wofford.
BJ Mack with a free throw. Wofford now 5 for 10. And Mercer's 6 for 6 from the line. There's a big chunk of that lead right there. The missed free throws by Wofford. Mack hits them both to reverse that trend momentarily.
Where would Wofford be this half without BJ Mack? He's got a 11.
Mercer with the ball, 5-point lead as we hit 2 minutes to go in the half. And Hasse, this time he's got Safford on him, a little bit stouter defender. Morgan goes up, good fake by Hasse, and then Mack couldn't get over in time to block the kiss off the glass.
It's a veteran right there. A beautiful pump fake. Felipe Hasse's got 7.
Tom joked with him before about playing his 14th year of college basketball, and then Wofford throws it right into the Mercer bench for turnover number 9. What did he say to you, Tom? Felipe Hasse feels like it?
I said, this is your 14th year of college basketball. He said, only feels like it sometimes. Played as many games as he has. Your body starts to feel it when you get into late February.
Mercer with a 7-point lead. They can really get some distance here. The waning moments of the first half is Walker's going to put the ball on the floor and hit the floater. And now the 9-point lead is as big as it's been for the Bears. Crowd getting a little restless here at Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. This is a huge game, as we've kind of detailed in terms of the tournament next week. Bigelow's back in for Wofford. Klesmit just denying the 3 every time on the catch.
And they are there on every single catch that Wofford makes.
Here comes Max. Glisten right in his grill. Mack on Hasse. Jumps into the contact, can't miss the shot, and then Bigelow goes over the back. It'll be a foul on Wofford. Isaiah Bigelow trying to make something happen in his last game on this floor.
Officials thought it would be a 1-and-1, but it's only the 6th team foul.
They're so used to going to one-on-ones when Wofford gets fouled. Mercer's been over the limit for about the last 6 minutes. Wofford now with just 6 team fouls. 45 seconds to go, 28 on the shot clock. Robertson has it in the front court for Mercer. I'll say looking inside. Oh, Glisten was wide open for an instant. They couldn't get the ball to him. Now he gets it. Going to try to work on Mack with Turner taking a swipe at it, and Glisten off the glass, and it's a double-digit lead for the Bears as we're under 25 seconds to play first half.
Glisten did a nice job of using his shoulder to create a little separation. No call, good play.
Wofford will hold for the last shot, most likely with Mack on the logo. Now Larson, 6, 5. He'll put the ball on the floor, jump into some contact, no call, but he gets the layup to fall. And that capita than any city in the United States. I think that still holds. All right, Wofford's got it. They'll be going left to right in this second half. Wofford in their home whites, Mercer in the road black uniforms, as Klesmit, who's Tom talked about, not much space to shoot, so he'll drive instead and take it right to the rim.
May have been the, we've seen Max Klesmit do that several times throughout the year when things aren't going well for him. You know what? Let's penetrate. Let's take it to the glass. Let's see if that'll get things going.
Interesting to see who makes all the adjustments here in the second half. As Glisten holds for Mercer, and Robertson tried to feed inside, got it knocked away, and a steal for Wofford. Can they get a hold of it? Yes, they do. Klesmit gets it to Patterson, and now Larson has it in the front court.
Wofford a little more energy here to start this second half.
Got a funny feeling the message was delivered forcefully by the coaching staff as Safford is fouled trying to drive. It'll be a blocking foul on Robertson, who is perplexed by that call. Take another look. Yeah, I was kind of standing sideways. Even if you're set sideways, technically you're set, but it's a different look for a ref, and you're not going to get that call.
And it also, I think he was right there when Safford caught the ball, and you got to give the guy, you got to give him room to at least come down with the ball.
All right, B.J. Mack, who was Wofford's leading scorer in the first half, up and over. Walker for 2 more.
Well, it's down to 5. Spanning the 2 halves, it's a 6-0 run for the Terriers.
Johnson. Now left side, Glisten. Oh, what a nice crossover step, but couldn't take advantage of it. Now Robertson pulls it back out with 10 to shoot. Switch, they'll put Safford on him. Maybe Wofford's best on-the-ball defender. Robertson goes right to the hoop and then gets fouled Oh, they're going to get Klesmit. It looked like Robertson was jumping backwards after the contact with Safford. He jumped right into Klesmit, and Klesmit got called for the foul. Here's the initial contact. They're going to get Klesmit on the reach-in.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
I agree with that call now. I didn't agree with it, but I'm still not convinced. What he signaled is not what he necessarily called.
Mercer gets the ball, trying to inbound. They get it to Hasse. He had 7 points in the first half. Now he's going to work on Safford and draw another foul. It was Mercer getting hit with all the early fouls in half number 1. Now Wofford has picked up a couple quick ones in the first 2 minutes. Safford a little bit too much body on Felipe Hasse. Hasse is an 87% free throw shooter. Started his career in South Carolina. He has been the most consistent player for Mercer, but he misses that free throw. I have jinxed every good free throw shooter in the building so far tonight on both teams. Equal opportunity offender. Hasse will get one more and miss that as well.
Something about that end of the floor right now.
Should I use my powers for good or evil, Tom?
It doesn't matter. However you want to use them. You have the power.
All right. Wofford with the ball, trailing by 5. Patterson dribbles out between the circles. Klesmit hounded by Walker. Another drive, another layup for Max Klesmit. Says you take away one thing, I'll find another.
Yeah, if they're giving it to you, and they're not giving it to him, but he's having to fight through it, but take that. Good grief.
And then a hand slap at the ball that's called for a foul as Klesmit picks up foul number 3 just when he gets going offensively. Now he's going to have to head to the bench. But it was a big swipe, a kind of a big arm motion.
Yeah, it's
didn't really do anything, but
it didn't affect anything in the play.
It's the visual.
It's the visual, correct. Now, is it a foul by the rules of basketball? Absolutely.
Wow. Now Safford's the latest Terrier who can't believe it. And Jay McCauley is not happy on the sideline at all. As always happens, as you yell at one referee, the second referee tells you to get back behind the line. But look at Jay.
Morgan Safford's third.
He's saying there was an elbow thrown that wasn't called. That's the point that McCauley's trying to make. So now Safford and Klesmit head to the bench with 3 fouls each, and Luke Turner's going to have to come in and eat some minutes up for Wofford here.
And who's he guarding but Felipe Hasse?
Wow, freshman against 5th-year senior. Walker. They find Glisson inside. Oh, boy, Glisson had nobody around him.
Karma. Not that Mercer's done anything to deserve that. It's just Wofford didn't deserve to be scored on after all the ticky-tack fouls, and Glisson just absolutely kind of threw it out of bounds. Also, he was uncontested.
34-31. This second half has gotten a little edgy here as Larson has it in front of his own bench. Bigelow inside to Mack. Pushed out by Hasse. Another bump. And now Larson got hung up in the air, somehow got it to Mack, who somehow caught it and laid it in. I don't know if it was a tougher pass or a tougher catch, but Wofford's within 1. Now the 2 refs are going to get together. Corey Tripp is checked in for Wofford. Look at this pass, and then that's a much harder catch than B.J. Mack made it look like. He has got 15.
Trying to figure out what the officials are talking about.
No, I don't think we're going to actually do anything, so no harm, no foul, right?
Well, they flashed 3-3 at the scorers table, but no foul was signaled.
Maybe, unless it was a delay of game warning, that's the only thing I could maybe think of on B.J. Mack. But Robertson comes right back for Mercer, goes all the way out the other end underneath the basket. Now Walker cross court to Johnson. All this taking place outside the arc. Now they'll try to set up Hasse with 8 to shoot. He'll step back over Mack. That one's long. Bigelow rebound on the other side. Bigelow's got a good contingent of friends and family from Greensboro on senior night. Mack straightaway 3, long. Hasse the rebound. See Mac hit that shot so many times the last couple of games, you just think it's going in.
I don't think that is what Wofford wanted on that play, judging by the reaction of the entire coaching staff.
Robertson, reach-in foul on Mac. That'll be BJ's first, but it'll be the 5th team foul on Wofford this half, and we haven't even played 4 minutes.
5-1, some discrepancy right now. And again,
And it was a reach-in.
Yeah.
There it is right there. He got him on the arm. No doubt about the call.
You've got to, if you're Wofford, you've got to adjust. You're trying to play aggressive defense. It's clear that's what the message was. But the officials are calling you for that aggression right now.
Johnson for 3, goes over the backboard. Jalen Johnson, again, 1 for 6 shooting on Wednesday night, and his shooting woes have continued here tonight.
Lost in all this is Wofford has started the half on an 8-0 run to make this a 1-point game.
Yeah, Mercer hasn't scored yet this half. Didn't know that until you mentioned it. Godwin. Now Turner keeps the dribble going before giving way to Bigelow. And Godwin got hammered, no foul, and he goes up and leads it in and draws. Zelton Steed, the crew chief, were engaged in, what would you say, Tom, somewhat animated conversation as Godwin makes it a 3-point play.
Yeah, and I think, I'm just guessing, and I could be completely wrong here. I think Jay McCauley is upset that Zelton Steed seems more interested in what the Wofford bench is saying than what is happening on the floor.
All right, 6 points for Sam Godwin off the bench. Wofford with a 2-point lead as Walker tries to work on Bigelow. Now Hasse gets free and flips it in from about 4 feet out. Felipe Hasse is starting to get cooking a little bit. He's got 9. Robertson goes for a steal and then gets obliterated on the screen. Bigelow, Wofford couldn't take advantage of him being on his backside for a while as Turner turns the corner, gets to the elbow, has to lay it down to Bigelow. He dribbles through traffic and draws a foul. It's going to be a reach-in foul, I think, on Sean Walker. Indeed it is.
Surprised we didn't get the mock cheers that you get.
So that is the second on Walker, 3rd team foul of the half on Mercer. Wofford's already picked up 5 with 15:03 to go.
I was joking with our good buddy Rick Cameron, who calls the Mercer games, that, you know, based on what we've seen from these two teams over the past several years, they really could probably just start the game with 30 seconds left, and whoever scores wins.
They have played some nail biters, some amazing finishes, these two teams, in the last 3 or 4 years, no doubt. Larson behind a screen now gets it to the screener. Godwin and Hasse, left-handed jump hook, swirls around and drops for Sam Godwin. Last 2 games, his contribution has really picked up. Godwin now has 8.
You're right, and he's not playing as many minutes as he did earlier. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but there's
the steal.
Just jumped right out on that and made a great defensive play.
He's had to step up when Messiah Jones went down with a season-ending injury way back in November. Wofford certainly undermanned on the front line. Mercer doesn't want to hear about it. They've lost backcourt depth as Larson swishes a 3, and it's a 5-point Terrier lead.
Wofford has scored 16 points in 6 minutes this half.
And Mercer has scored 2. Now Hasse. Listen. Wofford, they're just so much more intense defensively. You can see it turning back everything. Hasse will try to work on trip, no go in there. 4 on the shot clock. Hasse has to turn and shoot. It converts. That's good awareness by Hasse, and actually a good job by Walker to get him the ball where he could do that.
Yeah, top of the post. Sam Godwin is going to tie his shooter during the play there. But yeah, and it's going to a guy who's made a bunch of those shots throughout his college basketball career.
41-38, Wofford leads it. Bigelow gets it to Tripp.
And Wofford is doing this right now with Tripp, Turner, and Godwin on the floor. 3 backups.
Larson, turnaround jumper, thought it was online, and now we've got a fall. They're going to get Godwin, I think, on a push-off. his first, but the 16th foul on Wofford with 13 minutes and 7 seconds to go. Wofford is one foul away from putting Mercer in the bonus. And you're talking about putting the second best free throw shooting team in the league at 78%. Perhaps, Tom, on the line many, many times down the stretch.
Yeah. Morgan Safford back in, Max Klesmit back in. Both of those guys have 3 fouls for Wofford. And a heady coach like Greg Gary, don't think he doesn't know that and won't tell his guys, let's attack.
Shannon Grant back in for Mercer. He gets the pass and lays. Oh, he misses the bunny. Good pass by Hasse, but Grant couldn't convert. Now Larson back at the other end. Klesmit, 3. Oh, just a little bit long right on line. Offensive board, Godwin. Bigelow. This time it goes. Second chance point. Isaiah Bigelow, 44-38. Wofford.
How many times do you see it? A missed 3, offensive rebound, made 3. A defense is not set on an offensive rebound. Yep.
Walker with Klesmit on him. Now Tucker. Hasse's just going to jack it up there and miss everything.
Look at Greg Gary's face.
Everything is turned around here in the opening 6 minutes or so of half number 2. Brian Larson goes to the bench. B.J. Mack. You're right about that triumvirate of bench players for Wofford made a huge push there.
Wofford has outscored Mercer 19-4 this half.
Klesmit looks at a triple team, so he gets it back to Mack. Now Safford, corner 3. That's long. Hustling and chasing it down for another offensive rebound is Bigelow.
Wofford right now looks like a team that wants it more than Mercer.
Klesmit baseline. Safford will try it again. That time he dials it in. Morgan Safford gives Wofford a 9-point lead.
I've been doing this a long time, and they've made 9 shots already this half.
It'll be Mercer basketball. And quickly shooting right off the bench. And there's Jordan Jones. Good-looking freshman. It's 47-41.
That was big and a really well-designed play by Greg Gary. The guy who inbounds it got it right back.
Now Mack, who really kept Wofford afloat in the first half. Klesmit, who opened up the second half with a couple of drives. Bigelow will go baseline. Oh, tried to tomahawk jump it. Bigelow, one of the 4 seniors honored before the game, hits 1 out of 2, makes it a 7-point Terrier lead as we go to 11 minutes to go in this half. Mercer trying to come back after a 19-2 Wofford run. Jones, now Hasse. Wofford's made the switch and put Safford on Hasse, but now a switch. Klesmit's on him, and Hasse hits the baseline turnaround. He's hit a couple of those tonight. Yeah. Felipe Hasse now with 13.
What Mercer's doing a good job of, they know that Wofford's basically switching everything, and they're switching where Hasse's getting a guard on him, and then they take advantage of it.
Mack holding. Safford turns the corner. Patterson wasn't free enough to shoot that. Bigelow is, and it's short. Running in the corner, Mack. That's about the 3rd ball that's bounced in the corner. Wofford offensive rebound, and then Mack can't hit the 3 from the corner.
They left him wide alone in the corner, and I don't blame him for shooting it when you're that open.
Deflection and steal. Klesmit up ahead to Bigelow. Look out below. Oh, he lost it going up. Oh, I think Bigelow tried to maybe get the crowd into it with a huge jam, and back at the other end, Grant makes Wofford pay.
That's a 4-point swing right there. I think the ball slipped out of his hand or something, but oh, brother, that's if you're a Wofford fan, that one may hurt.
Now it's a 3-point game, and Mercer's right back in it. Max spins on Grant, can't go anywhere. Gets it back, gives it to Safford with 5 to shoot. deflection. Klesmit's got to let it fly. Step back, three! Wow, Max Klesmit.
It was correct. He got it off, and it was a three, and so Wofford has a 6-point lead.
All right, now we have to kind of reset.
Reset again.
Catch our breath as Jones works it into the front court for Mercer. Really trying to get it to Shannon Grant. Kick ball by Bigelow. Add a couple of seconds to the shot clock, back to 20. 8:58 to go. Wofford leads at 51-45. In a game that will decide who gets the first night of the Southern Conference tournament off. That is a big deal as Hasse tries to work on Klesmit. And an air ball, there's Grant right there for the putback. Shannon Grant, Mercer's lone bright spot against the Citadel on Wednesday, ramping back up here in the second half.
He was right place, right time for that rebound.
Mack will hand off to Klesmit. Walker jumps it, doesn't allow Klesmit to get a shot off. Same thing with Jones and Patterson's face. Now Mack is going to try to work on Grant. Tucker takes a swipe at it, blocking foul on Grant, and he can't believe it. And Mack caught a knee somewhere.
Greg Gary can't believe it either.
And I know Grant wasn't in the charge circle that time. Let's take a look here. Wow, that's a hard foul to accept if you're a Mercer Bear or a Mercer fan.
And you know what? His right foot, he was bringing it back around and it wasn't set. But what have I been saying all year? Don't call anything.
So let him play. Patterson, three, rims out, battle for it. Another long rebound goes to Wofford, and Klesmit can't convert right at the rim. Still a 4-point game. Nearing 8 minutes to go. Glisten, he's been quiet. Grant has not the last couple of possessions, and Max steals it right away from him.
Mercer's in the middle of a 9-4 run. This is a big trip here for Wofford. They had built the lead back to 9 after trailing by 9 at the break. Mercer's got it down to 4.
Safford. Oh, his pass went off the rim. Robertson after the turnover. Got to stop the ball. Pull up from 10. In and out. Was it tipped in? They're going to give it to Robertson. It fell through, and I guess Johnson made a nice play by not touching the ball in the cylinder.
He had a bird's eye view of it for sure.
51-49, and then a collision between Mack and Klesmit, and there's Glisten to jam it home, and we are tied at 51.
For last 7, and back it all the way out to when Wofford had led by 9. Mercer's on a 13-4 run. This thing has seen some serious seesawing back and forth.
Yeah, both teams have had 9-point leads. The crowd has been up, the crowd has been down, and now Klesmit shoots a three for the right side and hits it. And the Wofford crowd is back up again as Max Klesmit adds to his total. He's now back into double figures with 12.
It's the rare game that both teams have had 9-point leads and both teams have had 9-point leads evaporate.
Robertson. Now Johnson. Klesmit on him. He'll go left side. Tucker's going to drive, lay it up, and can't get the roll. Did everything but finish.
Big rebound that time by Max Klesmit.
He's got it inside, wants to get it back to Larson, and does. 6:15 to go. Winner of this one gets that coveted first-round bye in Asheville next weekend. Klesmit almost lost the handle. Robertson making his life miserable. 8 to shoot. Safford. Larson. Klesmit works his way open. 3 won't go. Safford tries to save it. I think it's off Mercer, and it is.
Went off Jalen Johnson. I think he was trying to tip it out to a guy or even maybe throw it out to a teammate and wasn't able to do so.
Jalen Johnson's had a frustrating game. He is so talented. He's got 2 points, the transfer from Wake Forest, who hit the game winner in the first meeting between these two teams.
Yeah, he was trying to throw it out to Glisten.
Larson will inbound. Wofford's going to go from a stacked formation here on the inbound play.
A funky angle.
That's the name of the play. That'd be a great name for a play. The funky angle. They get it to B.J. Mack. Now Larson will set things up. And the pass goes awry and right into the hands of Mack as Bigelow couldn't handle it. B.J. does. Triple move on Shin and cannot get it. Good defense
And a
by
strong,
Grant.
Yeah, and a strong rebound by James Glisson.
Mercer with the ball down 3. Robertson needs some help. Finally gets it to Glisson. Kick out. Walker will drive. Bigelow stayed in front of him. Oh, look at the scoop shot, though. Walker stayed with it. Kind of hung in the air before flipping it up.
He brought that thing all the way back down to his waist before he went back up with it.
Now a 1-point Wofford lead as we hit the 5-minute mark of half number 2. Lesman runs into Grant, and it's going to be another foul on Grant. That should be his 4th. 4th personal on the Mercer big man from
Sylacauga, Alabama.
Got to get our quota in for the second half.
I don't know if I assume they have a Chamber of Commerce, but if you know anybody in the Sylacauga Chamber of Commerce, you can let them know how many times I've said Sylacauga tonight.
Send the check. So Grant will go to the bench with those 4 personal fouls. And Hasse comes right back in. Mercer doesn't lose much, do they, when Hasse gets a rest?
You know, I think what they lose is Grant is more physical than Hasse is.
Mack is going to go right at him. BJ, lefty, draws the foul. That'll be the very first personal foul on Hasse, who, you're right, Tom, is not a banger. He's a very skilled big man.
Yeah, he is fundamentally sound. He's got great post moves, but he's not going to be the most physically imposing big man. As BJ Mack should be getting 2 free throws here for Wofford.
Here's the first. That was the 7th Mercer foul. After all those Wofford fouls in the first 4 minutes of the half, they've only got 6. They've been on 6 for about 10 minutes. And Mercer just picked up their 7th, so Wofford's in the bonus, and Mack hits them both. So it's 56-53 Terriers.
Sam Godwin's going to check in for Wofford.
Wofford having to do this with contributions from just about everybody tonight. Mercer's had great balance as well. Hasse out top now, Robertson. Now a switch. He's underneath the backboard and a quick layup and draws the foul. Wow, Kamar Robertson exploded with the reverse layup and drew the foul on Sam Godwin.
He recognized the mismatch and just exploded. Got past him right there on the baseline and then used the rim as a shield and went up for it. Got the body contact from Godwin.
Second foul on Godwin, but now both teams are in the bonus after the 17th foul as Kamar Robinson looking to add to that 13-point total tonight.
Shares the team lead with Hasse.
Good free throw shooter at 81%. But can't convert there. Hasse went for the rebound. Larson took it away from him. This remains a 1-point Wofford lead. Every possession critical in this critical final regular season game. Klesman with the floater for 2.
Max Klesman has had a whale of a second half. He's trying to get the Terrier fans into this, and they are responding.
As loud as it's been all night here at Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. For Robertson do it again. He goes up and draws the foul.
I got Bigelow.
3rd personal on Isaiah Bigelow. Robertson right back to the free throw line where he just missed.
And there's some contact. I mean, it's I don't know what's going to be called and what's not going to be called.
Robertson takes that deep breath. First shot is up and short. He's kind of in between right now. He missed long on the last possession. He misses short here, so.
And he kind of short-armed that one a little bit.
Trying to split the difference. Wofford leading by 3. Well, Robertson, the junior from Alpharetta, went to Cambridge High. Alpharetta, Georgia, of course. That's up and good. So Robertson finally hits the free throw and makes it a 2-point game. Full court pressure shown by Mercer. Mack is going to bring it up, which he can do. Very good ball handler for a big man. Hase's going to pop out on him 40 feet from the basket and lay an arm bar on him.
Yeah, a double arm bar, which is impeding his progress, which is a foul.
Now Larson, turnovers after a crazy first half.
Exactly right. Wofford had to call a timeout there, needed to get in a better shape to run this play.
Mack knocks over Hase. No call, lays it in. Oh, there's the no call you've been talking about.
All year, you can just clean up basketball with no calls.
Makes it a 4-point margin. Under 3.5 minutes to go. Hase back at the other end. The three, no good. Klesmit fights for the rebound. Had to go over to Glisson to take it away.
This becomes a huge possession for the Terriers. Up 4, 3:10 to play. Bucket here gets big.
Wofford being careful with the basketball. Mercer forced a ton of turnovers in the first half. Wofford just did a much better job in that department here in half two as Klesmit operates out top. Tucker's right in his grill defensively. 4 to shoot. Klesmit sees it, lets it fly off the side of the rim. It'll bounce harmlessly out of bounds, and the ball will belong to Mercer. Boy, Tucker really closed quickly.
Yeah, he did. He's hounding them. I mean, I really, the pressure Mercer puts on you offensively is just really, I don't know that anybody else in the league does it. Furman can do it sometimes as well. Ooh, trip there. No
Larson
call.
hit the floor. Tucker from the corner, not his shot usually. And there's Klesmit with another big rebound.
Big
Tucker's
possession now.
Tucker's a heck of a ball player, but he is not the guy you want taking a shot probably with 2:45 to go as Klesmit gets into the paint and blocked away by Hase. Nice defensive play. Klesmit slow to get up.
I think he's catching his breath.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I think he's just tired. Jalen Johnson's going to come into the game, sprints in. Tucker will take a seat. That's more of a probably getting ready for some offense versus defense this late in the shot clock.
Larson will inbound with 14 on the shot clock. Gets it to Mack. Immediately gets into the paint. Hase trying to push him back out. BJ up and under. Contact didn't matter. BJ Mack gives Wofford a 6-point lead as we near 2 minutes to play.
That was a big bucket by Brian James Mack. 82-73 Western over VMI.
Walker has it outside. We've got a foul somewhere. Morgan Stafford, I think, trying to fight through a screen. Did so with a little too much gusto. There's the final that Tom was talking about.
So, if you're Wofford,
I was told there would be no math on this exam if you're talking about seedings.
I'll wait till the end of the game. But it means higher than the 6 is now in play.
True.
For Wofford.
VMI's lost, no doubt.
Not for Mercer, but for Wofford.
Felipe Hase trying to add to his 13-point total. Free throws up and good. They'll get another, shooting the 1-and-1.
They're getting points with the clock not running here, too.
That's big. Hase averages nearly 15 points a game, so he's right on his number if he hits this one, which he does.
He is so fundamentally sound. I mean,
he's going to play overseas for a long time.
For as long as he wants. 15 years, possibly.
All right, Wofford gets it inbounds. 2 minutes to play. Wofford with the ball, a 4-point lead.
Got to get it across half court here.
Larson does with about 2 seconds to spare. Bigelow pops out. He'll hold for a moment. Stafford to Klesmit. 10 to shoot. Mack doesn't want to take Hase off the dribble there. Klesmit's 3 hits the deck, hits the 3, and that may be the shot that gives Wofford a first-round bye.
That was a huge bucket by the Terriers.
Robertson right back at the other end. Hold on, we're not done yet. Kamar Robertson makes it a 5-point game.
He scored so quickly, it kind of makes the Klesmit three not as important.
Gotta protect the basketball if you're Wofford. You know Mercer's gonna overplay going for the steal. 1 minute to play. Hasse causing trouble for Mack. Now Bigelow back to BJ, 5 to shoot. Does he see the shot clock? Baseline, tough angle. Wow!
Holy cow!
How did BJ Mack hit that one? 67 to 60.
In a normal year, BJ Mack's Player of the Year type guy.
And
what a shot!
Listen, hits a three. I'm kidding, but
the Cliff's Notes version is.
How about this?
Just
You
win.
win the game. Yeah, I think both teams are thinking that. Look at the pressure by Mercer. Wofford gets it into Klesmit, and he's fouled. he's mad about something. They don't call him Mad Max for
I think
nothing.
he was upset that Johnson's arm was still in there trying to pry the ball loose well after the play. Now it's only going to be a 1-and-1, and Wofford is only 10 for 16 at the line.
That's the 8th Mercer team foul. Max Klesmit, 83% free throw shooter. None bigger than these with 37.6 to go.
Jalen Johnson's 4th, but you can leave him in at this portion of the game.
I think you leave him in because even though he's had 2 horrendous shooting nights in a row, Tom, you never know when he can just elevate and hit one. Big free throw by Klesmit makes it a 5-point game. He'll get one more.
It's 2 possession. This will make it a full 2 possession game. What I mean by that is 2 threes ties you.
That one is pure as well. 69, 63.
If you're a Wofford fan, you got to like what you're seeing out of BJ Max and Max Klesmit headed down to getting ready for Asheville.
Hasse thought about a 3. Mercer using a lot of time on this possession, and Robertson draws a foul. Such a smart ball player. Knows that if the clock stops, that's good for Mercer, and now we'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
Larson's first.
And if you're Larson, you got to play defense. Don't worry, excuse me, it's going to be on, well, was it a reach-in on Larson or a foul on Safford?
It was a reach-in on Larson.
Doesn't make a difference because that's the 10th Wofford foul, so 2 shots anyway. Whether they called it a shooting foul or not. Kamar Robertson. Oh, that's a big miss. And he's had a few of them tonight. Has played a whale of a ball game everywhere but from the free throw line.
Yeah, he's 4 for 7 at the line.
Quick sub, Hasse out, Tucker in. Robertson will get another with 26.7 seconds to go. Try to make it a 5-point ball game. Spins it in his hands. And that's long as well, and Mack garners the rebound, and he's fouled. Almost throws an elbow. Got to be careful when you're swinging the ball around like that.
It'll still be a 1-and-1.
Yeah, they got Robertson, who was trying to follow his shot. You feel for Robertson.
Yeah,
you know he's got to be sick right now.
He is. You can just look at his facial expression. He just is a guy that is frustrated with himself, nothing else. Now, BJ Mack, it'll be a 1-and-1.
Yep, 9th team foul on Mercer, so no double bonus.
But 1 makes it a 3-possession game. So if he makes this first one, it's a 3-possession game. And with 24 seconds left, things start to get awfully difficult if you're the Mercer Bears.
The junior from Charlotte, who's really found a home here at Wofford after coming over from South Florida a couple of years ago. The mainstay of this year's team buries the free throw.
Would you expect anything else?
Averages 16 a game, 6 rebounds, 55% from the field. Great free throw shooter at 84%. Oh, by the way, he's also the 2nd best 3-point shooter on the team. 71-63, 20 seconds to go. Robertson misses. Boy, did he tip his own shot in there? Or did it go off of BJ's hands?
Well, Robertson gets credit for it.
Wow, I might have to.
I don't know how he did that, but.
Because I didn't even see him. All I saw was number 33 in white. Yeah, look at that.
Absolutely. With Bigelow in front of him and Mack behind him, he outjumped both of them.
Well, the foul at the other end, Klesman will try to do it again.
He gets two free throws now.
Yep, and there's one, 72-65.
So that back to a 3-possession game now with 16.5 seconds. It's getting harder and harder for Mercer.
Klesman gets the roll. 8-point game. Wofford is about to get a first-round bye. Mercer is going to have to do it the hard way and play in the first round on Friday as another foul. Robertson, there's no quit in that kid, huh? Draws the foul and probably goes back to exactly where he doesn't want to be right now, and that's the free throw line.
And BJ Mack whistled for his second. Kept wondering if Jay McCauley might call a timeout just to get Alex Michael on the floor. But if he hasn't been cleared, if all that NCAA stuff, because he hadn't played in a couple
he's
of
got
years.
the warm-up top on the bench, so
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. I was hoping he was going to pull a Willis Reed and limp out there, get his moment as Robertson finally hits a free throw. 73-66. Second one is good as well, so 9.5 seconds to go. Sub Hasse out, Tucker in for Mercer.
Still got to inbound it, down to a 2-possession game. Got to inbound it.
These last few seconds, this whole game, this is what we're going to see in Asheville. Every possession counts. Wofford gets it into Mack, and he's fouled by Glisson.
I'm going to report the news right here, and don't get mad at me, but Wofford's made their last 8 free throws.
After a rather dicey first half in that regard.
Make it their last 9.
Mercer is going to walk out of here probably with a loss after shooting 56.5% from the field as BJ Mack hits it. He adds to his total.
BJ Mack's at 26.
Now his career high is 28. That came against Gardner Webb earlier this year.
Don't think he will get there.
Unless he misses it on purpose and then jams it. All right, misses. Final seconds tick off here on senior night. A block by Bigelow to end